Hi, welcome back to Therapy Designs. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kelly and this channel is all about creating print-on-demand designs using Canva. So if that is something that you're interested in, please stick around. So in today's video, I'm going to go over how to create this design right here. It is just a simple surfboard surf design, but as we're starting to look into, the future months and with spring and summer coming and vacations, surfing is another good niche that we're going to be looking at going forward. So this is a pretty simple design. If you want to learn how to make it, go ahead and stick around. Okay, so as always, we're just going to start with our blank backdrop. This is 4500 by 5400 pixels. I do like to stick with black, so let's go ahead and just select a background color up here at the top left-hand corner of the page. We'll just select black right there. This is going to be a quick and easy design, should be, nice and fun, but there's a lot of different ways we can go with it. So let's go ahead. We're going to come up to elements. I'm going to do a little search this time for surfboards. So, helps if I spell it right. Summer is coming, and along with summer, you've got all the summer activities, summer tank tops and shirts that people are going to wear on vacation. So I'm starting to think about, some of the surf stuff. So for this one, I'm going to make a lot of different surfboards, and we're going to put a little photo mask over it. So this should be nice, quick, easy design. So what I'm looking for is just some surfboard shapes. And ideally, these are going to be slightly different shapes. They might be pretty close, but what I'm looking for, here's a bunch that are already kind of there. I don't like the shapes of those. What I'm looking for is just any surfboard shape. And so ideally, they're going to have kind of different shapes, different ends, different heights, different thicknesses, stuff like that. So looking for any of those surfboard shapes, anything that's going to be a little bit unique. I'm kind of hoping for maybe one more. Let me see if I can just find one more that looks a little bit different in terms of shape or size. That was a little rounder. This one's a little squared. Is this the same as this one? Nope, this one's a little wider, but it's got a flat base. Okay, so these are the shapes that I'm going to go with. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and drop down a line just so that I've got sort of a base to work with. So here's my line. It doesn't matter where this is on the page. I'm going to be doing some clipping masks on here. So I'm just going to kind of line these up so that they're the same on the bottom. This one's obviously a lot bigger than the others. I want them to be more or less the same size. They can be different a little bit, but nothing too dramatic. So something like that looks pretty cool. And now that I've got the surfboards kind of lined up nice, I'm going to put a little angle to some of them. So let's say some of them are kind of rotated in a little bit. Maybe this one's rotated out a little bit. Just a smidge, nothing too much. This one, let's say that one is rotated. I can have it rotated out a bit and this one rotated in a bit. So they're kind of like that. And that other one can be straight. So I'm just looking to get sort of a row of surfboard shapes. Maybe not quite that much. Something like that. So just a row of surfboard shapes that are all just a little bit different, have a little bit of a different angle to them. Nothing too dramatic. All right, something like that, that'll work. And so this is going to become my frame. So I'm just going to go ahead and title this up here, Surfboard Frame. Again, doesn't matter what the surfboards look like because I'm going to be putting a mask over them. So for this, I'm just looking at the shapes. I'm going to download this. It's going to be a transparent background, and I'm going to hit download. Perfect. Also, it doesn't matter where these are on the page or if they fill the whole page or not. I'm just mostly looking for the shape, making sure they're lined up on the bottom and that they have a good orientation. So that's all I'm looking for here because I'm just going to do, the clipping mask, and these are going to be silhouettes. So now let's go ahead and look at some masks. So what might you want to do for masks? Well, I could do an individual mask per surfboard. So like I could make the individual surfboards look different. And that's one way I could do it. But what I want to do for this design is actually one big photo that encompasses all of the surfboards so that you can see the photo on each surfboard. And I want it to be, you know, something like a wave because I want it to be beachy. I want it to go with surf. I can put surf, by the way, and see what comes up. I am looking for photos this time, and so you can see lots of different sort of surf photos. There's a good thing of surfboards right there, but I'm looking for like a big wave. So like there's an example of a nice wave. Here's, ooh, that one looks pretty cool. It's got sort of that round wave look to it, and so you could see how I could drag that out and use that as a mask. So what I want to do here is make this a little bit see-through so that I can see the boards underneath. That way I can line it up. So if I come to the top, there's a transparency box here. It looks like a little checkerboard, and you can bring that transparency down, and what that's going to allow you to do is sort of see through your image, so you could line your image up wherever you want, and then you could see how it's going to line up on the surfboards underneath. So something like that looks pretty cool right there. And then I can get rid of the transparency. I can take this if I want to now and maybe make it a little bit more saturated. Maybe even add a little bit of contrast here, really make it pop. So I could do something like that, and then I could go ahead and title this wave mask. And I'm gonna go ahead, share, I'm gonna download. It doesn't have to be a transparent background, I'll leave it alone. And so now I've got surfboard frames, wave masks. Now I'm usually going to pick several different masks because they won't all necessarily look as good as I hope they will. So I'll usually pick several different masks. That way I can pick the best, or at least make sure that they all look good. You can always, again, put up multiple versions of this. It's another design that you could scale out with different pictures. So it's always good to select multiple masks because you may end up with a lot of different designs out of it, or it may be that almost none of them work out and you just have like the one that does. So lots of cool surf pictures here. What I might also try searching for would just be like wave. So let's do wave and see if we can find anything there. Again, there's the one that I just had. See if we can find some better waves. So here's some cool wave. There's a cool wave. There's a wave with a surfer in it. Now you could try it with a surfer in it and see if that would look. You'd have to get the surfer lined up kind of perfectly with one of the boards, and so that might be a little tough to do. So let's say I look at my transparency. Could I line the surfer up so that he looked good on one of the boards? Maybe. I don't know about that one. I'm gonna get rid of this line here because it's bugging me now. I'm gonna keep looking, see if I can find any better waves. Maybe some with a little bit more color to them. I don't want it to be as washed out. That one looks cool because I can see the sky a little bit. That one looks cool. Here's one that has just sort of that wave all the way to the top here. Let's see how that one might look. Again, I'm always going to look at the transparency so that I can see how these would line up. And that one might look cool. Again, this one, I want it to be nice and bright, so I might bring the brightness up, I might bring the contrast up, and I'd probably definitely bring up the saturation because I really want it to pop. So what I could put is wave 2 mask, and now I'm going to download this one. So now I've got 2 different masks. Let's see if I can find one more good one that I like, just so that I have a few options. I like this one here. This one comes from the front. This one I really like here, this colored one. So this is probably the next one I'm going to go with because I really like the way that color pops. And if I found more like that, that's totally the way I would want to go. So let me let this one finish downloading, and I'm going to put this one up. Okay, perfect. Last one. I want to do this colored one because I think that looks really awesome. I love the colors on here. I love how bright that is. Lots of ways I feel like I could go with the colors. Make sure that that all looks like it's lined up. Oops, what did I click? I want to make sure it looks like it's lined up nicely. Make sure I get a little bit of everything in here. Nice. Again, I might still play with this a little bit. I might still make it a little bit brighter, A little bit more contrast, a little bit more saturation. I really am trying to get that to pop there. And so I'm going to call this Wave 3 mask. And I'm going to download this one. And then once this downloads, we're just going to jump over to Photopea, and we are going to show you the 3 different versions of this. Okay, perfect. Get rid of that. I'm going to go ahead and jump now over to Photopea. If you haven't used Photopea before, this is a great free site. Type Photopea into your browser, and this page should come up. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to give any information. All you do is click Open from Computer right in the middle of the page. It should pull up your downloads, and then from there you can go ahead and start with your surfboard frame. And you click Open, and it should pull up your surfboard frame. So here it is. And now what we want to do is put our masks right over the top. So if I'm going to come to the top here, it's going to say File on the left-hand corner. About 3 spaces down, you'll click Open and Place. Your downloads should pop up again, and now we can go one by one through our masks. So I'm going to click Wave Mask 1 and click Open. And there we go. So my first wave should pop up, and it should be right on top of my background. Over here, you should see the wave mask at the top, and it should be the one that's highlighted. And now we're going to go up to the top again, where it says File, and then move to your right until you hit Layer. Click on Layer. About halfway down, you'll see Clipping Mask, and you can click on that. And it's just going to go ahead and put that clipping mask right over your surfboards. So it looks like that. And now we're going to export this. So we're going to go File, Export as a PNG. Give it a sec here. I'm going to do surfboard, and I'm just going to title this 1. So right here, surfboard 1, PNG, 4500 by 5400 pixels, and I'm going to hit save. And so that's all I have to do there. And now I'm just going to repeat said process. I'll come up to the top left-hand corner again where it said File. I'm going to go to Open in Place. It'll pull up my downloads again, and then from here I'm going to go with Wave Mask number 2. Click Open, give it a sec, and Wave Mask number 2 should come up, and now it should be on top. If it's not on top, you can always click and drag. So you can drag up, drag down, but you want the one that you're working with to be on top and to be highlighted here. So here's my Wave Mask number 2. And then I'm going to go to the top again. I'm going to go over to where it says Layer. I'm going to hit Clipping Mask halfway down, and it's going to put on a new clipping mask. And so now this is number 2. And I can export this the same way. So top left-hand corner, I hit File, Export as a PNG. Give it a sec. I'm going to call this Surfboard 2, and I'm going to hit Save. It's that easy. We're going to do it one more time. I'm going to come to the top left-hand corner where it says File. 3 spaces down, I'm going to hit Open in Place. It will pull up your downloads. I'm going to pick Wave Mask number 3 this time. Open. Give it a sec. Now Wave Mask number 3 should be on top. Again, if it's not, you might have to drag and drop. If you want to get rid of any of these layers, by the way, you can. You can always right click on any one of these. It'll pull up a little bar, and then you can delete, and so you can delete any layers you want that way. But your background layer should always be at the bottom. The one that you're working with should be at the top, and it should be highlighted. So we're going to come to the top where it says Layer. I'm going to select Clipping Mask. And there is my clipping mask, and I really do like that one the best. And then I'm going to go to File, Export as a PNG. Give it a sec. This is going to be Surfboard. I'm going to title that 3. I'm going to hit Save. And that is it for Photopea. That's all I needed it for. So from here, all you have to do is go right back over to Canva. So now I'm right back over on Canva. I've got my surfboards. You can save these if you want to make more versions of this. So let's say I want to keep these here just in case. I can always add a new page and work on a new page. I'm going to go over to the left-hand side, and I'm going to go to the tab that says Uploads now. And from here, I'm going to go to Upload Files, and I'm going to upload all 3 of my surfboard designs. Okay, so once all 3 of them are up, I can just go ahead, click on each one of them. I'm going to bring them over to my page, and we can do a little compare here. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so as I'm looking at all of these, I'm going to go ahead, pick my favorite one. Now again, you could use all of them if you wanted to and just do different shirts with each one of them. The bottom one is a little bit plain, so it didn't quite turn out the way I'd hoped. It doesn't quite have the contrast or the bang that I want, so I'm gonna eliminate that one. Then I got these two. Both of these look cool, so I like the way that I can see the wave going on both of these. So these both might be good options of ones that I would go ahead and use. I do like the colors on this one a lot. I think it gives a lot of options. This one definitely, though, reads, you know, surfing. So either one of these, let's go ahead. I'm just going to do the colored one just because I don't know why it really popped. It's the one that I seem to like the best, but I would probably go ahead and put both of them up. But starting just with this one, I'm going to pull it out nice and big. Now I do kind of lose the edges of the board. So as you'll see, some of this darkness, I'm losing the edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use an outline on the surfboards just so that I don't lose the edges. So I'm going to do a photo effect. I'm going to come up to Edit Image. I'm going to use my photo effects. I'm going to use my shadow feature, and I'm going to use the glow. You click there. Give it a sec. Perfect. 3 little lines should pop up. You can click on that. It'll say See Controls. From here, you don't want any blur. You don't want any transparency. And here's where you're going to pick the color. So from here, I can use the little plus sign. It'll say Add New Color. And there's a little eyedropper feature in the corner here where you can pick any color off your design. So if you click on that, you can hover anywhere over the design you want to select colors off of the design. So let's say I select a color there. I get that sort of green color. Now I can bring the size up here, and that's just going to change the size of my outline. I want it to be big enough to be seen, but not so big that it just looks chunky. Something like that looks pretty nice, and I can play with the color of the outline now too. So I went ahead and picked that green because I wanted it to sort of blend in a little bit but still be light enough to be seen. Now I could have gone with the yellow. That might be one way to go too. The yellow would definitely make it pop more, but the yellow wasn't really around the edges. And again, I did want it to kind of look like it blended with the water. I could have gone with some of these blues, might have been nice as well, but the green seemed to be in all of the frames. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stick with this green, and I'm just gonna hit apply. And I'll give it a second. It'll finalize it, and it'll smooth it out too, and then you'll really be able to see kind of how that outline goes. Now, if the outline isn't as thick as you want, don't worry. You can repeat this process, so you can literally just, you know, put outline over outline over outline and keep making it thicker and thicker and thicker if you want to. So if it's not as thick as you want, you know, no problem. We can always layer those things. There it is. Nice. Okay. So that's it. So, but it's a little thin outline, but just enough that it's gonna make it pop. So that looks cool right there. I could leave it alone, or at this point, if I wanted to put some text here, like surf, or, you know, surf a specific location, surf Hawaii, surf, you know, any of whatever surfing destinations there are. You could put that here, surf Australia. I don't know where people go to surf, but any of the big surf North Shore, for example. Just make sure it's not trademarked, so you would have to check for that. But you could go ahead and definitely put specific locations too. So that would be one way that you could target it, as like a vacation shirt, summer shirt, surfing shirt. So if you go ahead and put specific locations, specific beaches, surf Laguna Beach, something like that, surf Huntington Beach, whatever, that might make it, you know, pretty cool. So let's say I did that really quick. I'm just gonna go ahead and go for it. So we'll go with surf, and I'll put surf, surf, God, I can't spell. Surf nice and big, and then right below that I might do something little. And this one I might go ahead. Let's go with Laguna Beach. Laguna Beach. Cool. And then I could go ahead and pick, you know, some fonts. And so I might go with something, oops, surf. That one actually kind of looked cool. Let me see that. Yeah, that's got a little bit of a flair to it. I kind of like that. Surf Laguna Beach. So lots of different ways I could go with this. Search Laguna Beach here, Laguna Beach surf there. Depends how big I wanted to make this. That's not necessarily the font I would go with. I just saw that font and I thought it was pretty cool. But again, you can play some scripts, some fun ones, and just sort of go through all of your different fonts and see what you can find that looks good. I don't want to spend too much time on this, so I'm just gonna do something like that. And of course I can make it go a little diagonal as well. I like to do sometimes the diagonal so that it doesn't look straight across. So sometimes something like that might look good, and then you just have the Laguna Beach, and that could be more straight across. And so let's say I take that Laguna Beach now. I want to keep it pretty simple. Let's see, what do I got? I could do cursive if I wanted to. I'm not really loving the cursive for the Laguna Beach. Let's go ahead and just sort of stick with the sort of fun, surfy vibe. What do I got that's good? That one's different. It's different, not necessarily a super common one, but it would be easy enough to read. Surf Laguna Beach. Sure, why not? Sure. Surf Laguna Beach. And then of course I could keep this white, or I could change the colors now if I wanted to. Let's say I wanted to make surf maybe some bluish or bluish green. Let's go ahead and pick a color off of here. Something that's a little bit on the lighter side, but not too light. That might look cool. I do like it in the teals, especially since I went with sort of that light green outline. I could do the outline color. What was the outline color here? I went with a little bit of a light green, something like that. Surf. Maybe a little bit more into the teals. Anyways, you can play around. You can pick any color you want. I know I'm kind of playing with this. I could definitely do the yellow there. I like that. And then the Laguna Beach could be like the blue. Let's see. Sort of that teal, light blue. I need it to pop though. Let's go with the green. Let's go with the light green. Let's go with Surf Laguna Beach. Doesn't really pop the way I'd like it to. Again, maybe more of the blue. I know at this point I'm just sort of playing around, so I can spend a lot of time playing around sometimes. So we'll just go with that. It's fine. Okay, so it says Surf Laguna Beach. Okay, so I spent way too much time on what was supposed to be a really quick and simple video, but there you go. You get the idea how you can make cool surf shirts that have specific locations, photos, how you can make the colors pop a little bit more other than just going with strictly the blues. Again, start thinking about summer, start thinking a lot about tank tops. I do sell a lot of tank tops. Secondary to t-shirts, tank tops are my next selling item. So, and especially with summer coming, it's gonna be big, summer vacations. So think about that kind of stuff when you're starting to design. I'm just gonna go ahead and title this now Surf, and I'll put Laguna Beach. Laguna Beach is close to where I am, so that's why I picked it. And we're just gonna go ahead and download. This is a transparent background for this one. I only need page 2, and I'm gonna click download, and it is ready to go. Of course, you could put this on a shirt, you could put it on a tank top, you could put it on a sticker, you could put it on a water bottle, you could put it on all sorts of different products, bags. So, you know, be as creative as you want. But that is it. If you have any questions about this or about anything else, drop them in the comment section below. I do try to get back to it as quickly as I can. Hope you guys are doing well, and I hope to see you again next week. That's it for today's video. If you found this useful and would like to see more videos with helpful tips and tricks, be sure to hit like and subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the weekly videos. As always, keep growing and stay creative, and we'll see you next time.